What do animals actually think humans are? Have you ever looked into an animal's eyes and wondered what it sees when it looks back at you? Not your name, not your job, not your personality. Animals don't know any of that exists. To your dog, you might be family. To your cat, you might be a giant servant. And to some wild animals, you might not even fit into any category at all. Which raises a strange question. What do animals actually think humans are? The answer is far more fascinating than most people realize because animals don't see the world the way we do. Humans are obsessed with labels. We classify everything: friend, stranger, teacher, doctor, engineer. Animals don't care about any of that. They judge the world through smell, movement, sound, behavior, and experience. To them, you are not a person, you are a pattern. Let's start with dogs. If there is any animal that comes close to understanding humans, it's probably the dog. Dogs can recognize our faces, understand our emotions, follow our pointing, and even detect changes in our mood. But here's the interesting part. A dog doesn't think you're another dog. It knows you're different. You don't smell like a dog. You don't move like a dog. You definitely don't bark like a dog. Yet dogs still treat humans as part of their social world. To a dog, you are something like a strange pack member. A giant hairless creature that somehow controls food, shelter, toys, walks, and apparently every important decision in life. That's why dogs become excited when you return home. To you, it might be coming back from work. To the dog, it's the return of one of the most important members of the pack. Now compare that to cats. Cats understand humans too. They just have a completely different opinion about us. A cat probably doesn't see you as family in the same way a dog does. Instead, cats seem to treat humans as social partners. What's fascinating is that adult cats rarely meow at each other. Most of their meowing is directed at humans. Think about that for a second. Cats developed a special communication system specifically for us. That's a remarkable adaptation. Some scientists believe cats may view humans as oversized, somewhat clumsy cats. Cats watch us constantly. They learn our routines. They know when we wake up. They know when we eat. And somehow they always know exactly when we're trying to focus on something important. But dogs and cats are animals that evolved alongside humans. Wild animals are a different story. Imagine you're a deer standing in a forest. A human appears in the distance. The deer doesn't care about your dreams. It doesn't care about your personality. It isn't wondering whether you're a good person. It's asking a much simpler question. Are you dangerous? For many wild animals, humans fit into one of two categories: threat or not threat. That's it. And honestly, from an evolutionary perspective, that's a pretty effective system. But city animals have developed a much more complicated relationship with us. Take pigeons. Pigeons live around humans almost everywhere. Entire generations have grown up surrounded by people. To a pigeon, humans may simply be part of the environment. Not people, not predators, just giant moving objects that occasionally drop food. In a strange way, city pigeons might view us the same way we view trees, always there, mostly harmless, occasionally useful. Then there are crows, and crows make things weird, because crows don't just recognize humans, they recognize specific humans. Scientists have discovered that crows can remember individual faces for years. Even more surprisingly, they can teach other crows which humans are dangerous. Imagine being remembered by an entire crow community because of something you did years ago. That's both impressive and slightly terrifying. To a crow, you are not simply a human. You are an individual with a reputation. And that level of recognition suggests something remarkable. Some animals don't just see humans as a category, they see us as unique personalities. But perhaps the strangest perspective belongs to marine animals. Think about dolphins. To a dolphin, humans must seem incredibly awkward. We can't breathe underwater, we swim slowly, we need equipment just to stay submerged. From a dolphin's perspective, we're probably the equivalent of someone trying to run a marathon while wearing a refrigerator, yet dolphins remain curious about us. They approach divers, they investigate boats. Sometimes they even appear playful, not because they understand us, but because curiosity itself can be a survival advantage. And then there are octopuses. Few animals experience reality in a way more different from humans. An octopus has neurons spread throughout its body. Its arms can perform complex actions almost independently. It changes color instantly. It solves problems, it escapes containers, and some octopuses can even recognize individual people. Imagine how strange humans must seem to a mind built completely differently from our own. An octopus may never understand what a human is, but it can still learn that certain humans bring food, others bring stress, and some are simply interesting to watch. Which brings us to a deeper realization. Maybe animals aren't trying to understand what humans are at all. Maybe they're learning what humans do. A dog learns that keys mean you're leaving. A cat learns that opening a can means food. A crow learns which faces are dangerous. A squirrel learns which people throw crumbs. Animals don't necessarily build theories about humans. They build predictions, and in many ways, that's exactly what humans do too. Think about it. You don't understand every person you meet. You simply learn patterns, you predict behavior, you decide who to trust. Animals may be doing something surprisingly similar, just on a different scale. And that leads to the strangest conclusion of all. Humans often think we're the main characters of Earth, but animals are not sitting around discussing our careers, politics, or ambitions. They're trying to survive. They're watching us, learning from us, adapting to us. Every movement we make teaches them something. Every habit becomes information. Every interaction becomes a lesson. So when we ask what animals think humans are, the answer may be simpler and more profound than we expect. To some animals, we're family. To others, we're predators. To others, we're part of the landscape. But most importantly, we're a pattern. A powerful, unpredictable, world-changing pattern. And whether that pattern appears kind, dangerous, helpful, or threatening depends entirely on the behavior we choose to show them. Because in the end, animals may not understand our words, but they understand our actions. And that might be the most honest way any species can truly know another.